Hey everybody, thanks for clicking on this video. Today we're going to be working with number graphs and interval notation. If you want to follow along, the links to the companion worksheet are in the description below. Also, don't forget, if you want to see more videos like this, click that subscribe button so you can stay up to date on all the videos we have coming out from the channel. So let's get started. So what we have is we have this number line, and we've highlighted all of these numbers up to 2. But 2 has an open circle on it, which means 2 isn't highlighted. And what we want to do is we want to, with interval notation, write out what describes this whole number set. And the way interval notation works is you ask, what number is the leftmost number of the interval? Well, it keeps going. So because it keeps going, what we say is the leftmost number is negative infinity. Now, infinity is not a number, sure, but that indicates that it's going to keep going off the left-hand side. It's never going to end. But what about the right? When does it end over here? Well, it ends at 2. Now, when we write an interval notation, we either use parentheses or brackets. And we use parentheses to indicate that we do not include the endpoint. We use brackets to indicate we do include the endpoint. Now, infinity is never included, which means infinity is always going to have a parentheses on it. Now this has an open circle here, and so because it has an open circle, 2 is not included. So therefore, we put a parentheses around that. So this, in interval notation, is expressing all of these numbers that are highlighted. Now for the second one, here, it's highlighted starting here at an open circle and then going off in this direction. So we ask, what is the smallest number highlighted? Well, it stops at negative 1.5. And then it goes off the right-hand side, which means that it goes off to infinity. Now again, infinity is never included, so automatically we put a parentheses here, but this one is not included either. We don't include negative 1.5, so that means we put a parentheses around that one. For the third one, here, there's no break. There's no opening. The entire number line is shaded. And so a lot of people will say, well, this is all real numbers. True, but how would you say that in interval notation? Well, you look at the right-hand side and ask, what's the leftmost number that's highlighted? Well, it's negative infinity. What's the rightmost number? That is positive infinity. And in both cases, infinity is never included, so we always put parentheses around both of them. Now here at number 4, here we have a constrained interval because it has a specific start and ending point. Neither one is going to be infinity because the leftmost number of this interval is negative 2. The rightmost number is 3. But in both cases, they're open circles, so both negative 2 and 3 are not included, so they're parentheses. Now you have to be careful in a situation like this that you know that you're talking about an interval, because for a lot of people they'll easily confuse this with an ordered pair of numbers when you're graphing points in the XY coordinate plane. So with number 5, here with this interval, the lowest number is negative 2, and the highest number is 3. But the difference is now 2 is included because it's highlighted. It's not empty. So we put a bracket around the negative 2, whereas we still put a parentheses around the 3 because 3 is still an open circle. Number 6. Now here we have 2 parts. So we have to write an interval for this and an interval for that. But we have to treat this all as one thing. And so the way we do that is we put a U symbol. A U symbol means we either count it here or here. U is the symbol for union. So for this interval, the left-hand side goes off to negative infinity. The right-hand side ends at negative 2. And it never include infinity, and this is an open circle. Over here, the left-hand side is 3, the right-hand side is positive infinity. Infinity is never included, but the 3 is filled in, so that means we put a bracket on that one. right. Now number 7, here we also have 2 pieces, which means we're going to write 2 different intervals. We're going to put a u in between them to hook them together. So with these 2, this one starts at negative infinity and goes to -1. Put parentheses on both of those. Over here, this one starts at 1 and goes to positive infinity. And we put parentheses on both of those. Then finally, number 8, everything is highlighted except 0. Now you can very easily say, well, x does not equal 0, and you'd be right. But how would you do this in interval notation? Well, what you would do is you would just treat this as an interval, and then you would treat that as an interval. So the way you'd write this is, if we just look at this as an interval, this over here is where we start, negative infinity, and we go out to 0. And then put our u to hook them together, and then we look at this interval and say it starts at 0 and goes off to infinity. Alright. Thanks for watching, everyone. If you liked the video, please give it a thumbs up. You have suggestions or problems you want to see worked out? Type a comment below. To support the channel, click the Patreon link to help keep this going. Thanks so much for watching. And remember, the best way to understand something is to do it.